I am the human Chandelier, and welcome to Chandelier Radio TV. This is the origin of the ancient tale of Sophia, the divine embodiment of wisdom. Is it a myth, or is it forgotten history or hidden truth of the ancient legend? At the oldest secret, producers of Chandelier Radio TV, roll the clip.
The Gospel of Mary portrays Mary Magdalene as Jesus' most spiritually advanced disciple, the one who comforts and teaches the other disciples after his departure. In the Pistis Sophia, Jesus explicitly states that Mary Magdalene and John the Virgin will surpass all his disciples in the heavenly kingdom. This brings us to one of the most fascinating connections in Gnostic thought, the association between Sophia and Mary Magdalene. In several texts, Mary Magdalene is portrayed not simply as a disciple, but as the human embodiment of Sophia, the divine wisdom incarnate, the feminine counterpart to Jesus' masculine expression of divinity. This understanding casts an entirely new light on the relationship between Jesus and Mary Magdalene. Far from being merely a reformed prostitute, a characterization invented by Pope Gregory I in the 6th century with no biblical basis, Mary Magdalene emerges as Jesus' spiritual equal, his partner in the cosmic work of awakening humanity. Some Gnostic texts even suggest a sacred marriage between Jesus and Mary Magdalene, a ritual enactment of the cosmic reunion of masculine and feminine divine principles. While historical evidence cannot conclusively prove a physical marriage, the spiritual significance of their relationship in Gnostic thought is undeniable. They represented the divine syzygy, the balanced masculine and feminine aspects of divinity working together for cosmic restoration. The profound wisdom contained in these Gnostic teachings raises an obvious question. Why were these perspectives so thoroughly suppressed? Why does the Christianity that survived into the modern era bear so little resemblance to these earlier, more feminine-centered understandings? The answer lies in a complex interplay of theological, political, and social factors that unfolded in the 2nd through 4th centuries CE. As Christianity transitioned from a persecuted minority movement to an imperial religion, its leadership became increasingly concerned with establishing clear doctrinal boundaries, hierarchical authority structures, and conformity of belief. The Bishop Irenaeus, writing around 180 CE, was among the first to systematically attack Gnostic interpretations of Christianity. His work against heresies specifically targeted the theological diversity that characterized early Christianity, advocating instead for a single orthodox interpretation governed by apostolic succession, an unbroken line of male bishops supposedly extending back to the original apostles. This emerging orthodoxy was distinctly patriarchal in structure and theology. God was conceptualized exclusively as Father. Authority flowed from the Divine Father through earthly fathers, bishops and priests, and women were increasingly excluded from leadership roles. The divine feminine, so central to Gnostic understanding, was gradually erased from Christian theology. This erasure was not accidental, but deliberate. The complex Gnostic cosmology, with its multiple divine emanations and its critique of the Creator God, threatened the emerging Orthodox narrative of a single male deity whose authority was mirrored in the exclusive authority of male church leaders. The Gnostic emphasis on direct spiritual knowledge undermined the authority of bishops who claimed exclusive interpretive rights over scripture and tradition. Moreover, the social implications of Gnostic theology were revolutionary and threatening to the emerging social order. If the divine included feminine as well as masculine aspects, if women could embody divine wisdom as readily as men, if salvation came through inner awakening rather than institutional mediation, then the patriarchal structure of both church and society stood on shaky ground. The triumph of Orthodox Christianity over its Gnostic alternatives was sealed with the conversion of Emperor Constantine in the early 4th century. With imperial power now backing a specific theological vision, alternative Christianities were systematically suppressed. The Council of Nicaea in 325 CE established official doctrine, and subsequent imperial edicts made deviation from this doctrine a crime against the state as well as the Church. By the end of the 4th century, Bishop Athanasius issued his famous Easter letter of 367 CE, which listed the officially approved books of the New Testament and ordered the destruction of all heretical texts. It was in response to this letter that monks at the monastery near Nag Hammadi in Egypt appear to have gathered their precious Gnostic texts, sealed them in a jar, and buried them in the desert, where they would remain hidden until their discovery in 1945. The suppression was nearly complete. For over 1,500 years, Christianity would develop along patriarchal lines, with the divine feminine almost entirely absent from its theology, its ritual, and its power structures.